Hey guys, welcome to the commentary of the Sonic Ranger 2025. Wasn't expecting to do a commentary of this, but since I like this type of style of doing a commentary, this is how I'm going to do it. And we're going to do the usual way of doing it, me having it in the video, and also me showing the actual film itself. So let's not hesitate any further. Let's begin. Let's get started. Yeah, so either way, let me just get started for right now for the opening. Now, this was not the first thing I shot for this movie. Like a couple other things I wound up doing. The first thing I shot was the view of the city of Boston, me on the train heading into Cambridge. So either way, those were the first scenes I shot, but I kind of postponed it during that time. So I shot during the time of summer, the end of summer during that time. So it was like late August or early September. So let me comment something right here. The scene with the Astral Witch X. That effect, now, what you're looking at is a dummy. Yeah, I managed to buy some wood, try to see if I could make like a $12 affordable dummy, kind of like what James Rolfe did in his film The Deader the Better. I wanted to make up my own, a dummy I could just throw around or something like that, have it be a stunt. But fortunately, the wood that I was able to use, it was kind of falling apart. The moment I walked out of my house, the torso or spinal torso broke, and I decided I came up with a backup plan. Since I have the green screen background and I can use green screen, so I said to myself, why not use green screen? It seems like a better idea and a better way to make everything look real and believable. And yes, special effects. These are not groundbreaking special effects, but if you look at here, they're very creative. So I managed to alter the filters to make them not like the usual, like how you use the filters for certain parts. And yeah, that line I got from the Today's Day that Witches Die, I kind of referenced that from Stewie from Family Guy. That one part where Lois and her friends were actually drunk. So drunk that they actually put Brian in the bee costume. Then they're like, "Now new Stewie!" And Stewie has gone saying, well, I guess it's the day that bitches die. Yeah, so either way, I used that reference. So the whole point about the witch is that she brainwashes the last Sonic Ranger. So either way, it's more like, they brainwashed him because they thought he was, a very useful character for them. But, the whole thing is, he's got brainwashed. He now was one of the good guys, but now turned bad. Yeah, so yeah, I wanted to do a opening credits since not a lot of people do that these days. Well, unless you're Deadpool, that's a different situation. The Deadpool movies with Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, so I wanted this background that you see in the video to make it sound like give its own bass, like a sonic bass or something like that. But as you expected, I did the special effects, I edited, I produced, I directed, I wrote, I acted, I did everything. Some of the music I didn't do by myself. There's one part I wanted to add. Well, actually, no. Originally, there were a couple parts I wanted to add, Yeah. So so a lot of these scenes, so like I said, as you see right here, The Year Beyond Now. This was obviously the first thing I filmed, because really, who's actually going to be in these boats, in Boston in the winter? So so this was like during, like I said, late August or early September, let's just say so. But really, those of you who live in Boston, you're saying to yourself, who in the winter is actually going to be out in that freezing cold, like, ocean that we have? So yes, this was the first thing I shot. It was during that time. And I decided, the footage looks so good, like some of the things I shot, why not still keep them? So either way, I mean, if you notice some people in shorts or not wearing jackets or coats and stuff, that was during the summer. But now the whole thing about this film is taking place during the winter season. And, seeing how I wasn't freezing my ass off the whole entire time. So most of these scenes, most of these buildings you see, they're not in Boston. They're in Cambridge. And yes, we have the Prudential Mall that you may see me film. Not myself, but just film the people, just being social and, being active, being, busy. So, and also for this, that spider you saw, that was stop motion. And some of these, exploding effects that I use, they're all filters, so they're not real exploding effects. They're just something I got off of Google to add in this movie. So I just Googled exploding effects, and they were able to give me these filters, and I was able to use them. And let's talk about this scene. And yes, this was one of the parts I did play. I did play the elderly guy who fell down the stairs. Didn't show myself falling down the stairs, but don't think you guys really like an actual elderly guy falling down the stairs. No. I do apologize if this is too loud. This particular scene is too damn loud. I do apologize. So I brought back what I did in Last Galactic Raider, where you can call 911, they check your GPS to find where you are so they can come get you and help you. I brought that back from that, and it just seemed like really groundbreaking technology that you can use today. No, really, you could. Now we're introduced to my character, Billy Leo. Billy Leo, well, the whole point about him is, you're probably asking the big dumb question, how did he even get cancer? Like, what caused him to get cancer? So I mentioned this little text, little message thing right here, where it gives like the details on his bad habits. So his bad habits is smoking. So, I did a good job adding this part, but right here, but So originally, I wanted to get Manny to play the rude pedestrian, but I couldn't get any actor for that. I wanted to literally film myself talking to the character, and getting pissed at them. But unfortunately, there were several actors I wanted to get, but there was no one who was available. I could have gotten Nas, but his schedule was a lot different. I was going to get this new person named Cade, but they weren't available. They were canceling left and right over in time. So it was this hospital I was going to choose for that particular series. So the hospital you see me in that earlier scene where I reminisce what we went through in the hospital. Now, of course, I wanted to film myself literally yelling at someone, to yell at them, to tell them, to get lost or whatever. But, So basically, those of you who know certain cancer movies or movies that speak about cancer, you're probably saying, well, why is his cancer untreated? Because it's heart cancer. Now, it's like a 50-50 chance that it's treated, or a 50-50 chance that it's not treated. But in this chance, it's untreated. And the person who voices, the telephone operator is my sister, LaChana Daly. She was technically the last thing I had to record for that part, but yeah, she was enjoying the whole voice acting thing, and honestly, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna use you for more projects, sis. So she's my oldest sister, just to let you know. And also the Citizens Bank area you see right here. Yeah, I know I misspelled withdrawal, adding another I in the mix. But yeah, I had to talk to these people at this bank. Like, was it okay if I filmed the outside of your bank? The good news is they said I could film the outside of the bank. The bad news, I can't film the outside. So I did one footage that I had to edit out for Final Cut. Was the part where I'm in the bank showing the ATMs. So that part I had to cut out because, they would probably get pissed at me about that. And yeah, this Biogen area, that was also the first thing I shot. During the time of the end of the summer of that time. So why did I went with the whole Australian accent coming out of the robot? I mean, who says these aren't people who got turned into robots? Alright, so the whole point of Krusko's character is that her character is a person who turns people into cyborgs. Cyborgs, robots, androids. Kind of think of it as Bulma Breaves or something from Dragon Ball Z. Dr. Shiro making the androids, making all types of cyborgs. So this was the first scene I shot with Krusko. So with Krusko, I shot with her for 2 days. So this was day 1. So if you kind of notice her eyeliner, she doesn't have that in the other scenes. So most majority of the scenes that she'll have that is the part where she's talking to Billy's character, who plays the CEO Louis Doubleday. But either way, Krusko, she was good as usual. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. That was a distraction. So, either way, Krusko, like I said, I filmed with her with those 2 days. So, either way, and yeah, these toy models that you see in this movie, yeah, they actually are toys. So, he wants to be the next Sonic Ranger because he knows that'll probably save him from dying. Which, either way, it's like, what can you say? Like, either you die or turn into a robot, or which is worse? Die from cancer, or being killed, or probably taking your life, giving your life to become a robot. I don't know which one. And yes, those of you who say I cannot act, watch this. This shows I can act. No, for real, this really shows I can really act. Blubbering like a baby. Or those you would say blubbering like a little bitch. But, yeah, there were some parts I had to edit out to, make sense. Like, the 2 weeks thing, I mean, even though it was mentioned I would die in the next 32 days... Yeah, I had to change it to 2 weeks, basically. But, either way, what else? So this whole part, I think even Crusoe even thinks, "Wow, you're a great actor, Alex." I mean, this isn't me, kissing up to myself. I mean, this is just, I can make you make that judgment yourself. And yes, this is the scene where I do have the makeup on my eyes. I could have done that with Crusoe, but it'd be too much of a hassle if I had to remove the makeup on my, eye parts, basically. But either way, I just kept it in this scene because it shows that maybe my cancer is getting even more worse during that time. So there was one part I was supposed to have Crusoe say, but I forgot about it. I totally forgot about it, so I decided, what if it's someone who's like their assistant, who's like, Professor JoJo's assistant that also is on the, line also. And this scene I do enjoy the most. I love my expression, my shock expression. And honestly, it's like, yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt really bad, buddy. So suck it up and deal with it. Yeah, the urine sample was a joke, because it's like, oh, is it too late for me to go to the bathroom now? Now, there was another scene I was going to add for this part where I'm selling, like, a Sonic the Hedgehog bucket from AMC. But I felt like it just didn't felt the need to be in there, so I cut that out. But I did want to leave the part where I'm calling my high school, well, I don't know, high school, middle school teacher, college teacher, or whatever. Whatever high school it was, or whatever school it was, I wanted to show that I want to get some anger out of my system. So before I go, I want to just express my teacher on how I really felt about them. And yes, if you're asking, yeah, I have had some awful teachers, in my school years. Not like in college, but like in school years, I had some teachers who were just awful. I am so sorry if I sound too harsh in that scene. No, I really do mean it. I do want to apologize if I sound way too harsh in that particular scene. So don't worry. I mean, I sometimes blow up at stuff. I sometimes get, angry at stuff. But, don't worry. I'm not always like this. Not always, but like sometimes, I don't. Yeah, maybe I have my off days and I have my good days. Just don't mess with me on my off days. That's all I can basically say. But either way, this part like you just saw me show the clip from the scene from Sonic 3. I had to cut that a lot more because there was supposed to be a much more longer scene. And yeah, another one of my sisters who's also voicing one of my characters in this movie is my sister Sade Holiday. She did a good job. I got nothing else bad to say about Sade. She did an incredible job. She did what she did. She did what I told her to say, and what else can I really say? Actually, to let you know, guys, just one thing. Sade has been in plays in middle school. Like, she's been in a few plays in middle school. And she did a Little Shop of Horror. She's the one who played Audrey. But yeah, she's known for acting, and yeah, I do like to add her in more of my movies. But, only voice acting, not in the actual physical parts. So I respect that she wants to do just voice acting. Her and Shauna, and just let you know, believe it or not, I will only allow them to do voice acting, and that is it. No live appearances, no physical fight scenes they have to do. No, I'll just stick with voice acting with them. And yes, this is a baby picture of what I look like as a baby. Yeah, probably a couple of months old or a couple of days old during that time in 1988. And yeah, one of my friends did say they did like the close-up of my eye emotion, you know, me putting the camera close up to my eyesight. And also the ordering Popeyes. Well, originally there was a thing I did shoot that did had me also ordering at KFC. But I think to myself, no, Popeyes seems a lot better. Yeah, I do have to say that. Yeah, I'll go with Popeyes instead. But yeah, this is the big debate, like, oh, which is better, Popeyes and KFC? You're not going to get anywhere with me with that. You're not. You're not going to get anywhere with me with that. Because I like either one, Popeyes and KFC. And now my favorite joke, I did add it. So this whole scene with me ordering at Popeyes was improvised. And this scene where me mention Jollibees, which I should mention, there's no Jollibees here in Boston. No, I'm serious. There's no Jollibees here in Massachusetts. Maybe simpler out of Boston. I don't know. I kind of consider Jollibees the Krispy Kreme of KFC and Popeyes. Yeah. And yes, the scene where I either this was scripted or not scripted, where the part where the robot asks me to take off my pants. And yes, I did make that. I guess I did write that part in mentioning what type of underwear I'm wearing. But either way, I did cut that part where I did take my pants off, but I just felt like I had to cut that part out. You guys don't want to see that. Don't worry, let's just move on. And yeah, Chris Krusko did voice that part. So I just wanted to let you know one thing. I filmed this part before having Krusko record her lines. So I filmed most majority of the scene, but I just didn't add, you know, her dubbed dialogue, basically. And yes, this was filmed downstairs in my basement. So this was probably the best thing I could probably get away with. Now, what's the whole point of the whole what's going on for the last 10,000 years? Well, this is technically a sci-fi film, so I wanted to show, like, what if in the future everybody of all humanity, everything that's, you know, was all humane has now been completely destroyed? Like, let's just see what happens when the world, you know, is completely destroyed and completely annihilated to the point of fact everything's turned to dust. And what if my character is the only last living thing on the planet, basically? I know it's scary. You don't want to think about that. So now we cut back to present time. This was Krusko's second day with me filming with her. And of course, this is where I'm introduced as Copper. So what's the whole point of them taking away my character's name away? How I written it, it's complicated. How I written it is just complicated on why she had to go along on changing his name to Copper from Billy Leo. And where I get the idea of calling him Billy Leo? Well, the reason why I chose the character Billy, because that was my late cousin's name, you know, during that time. That was my late cousin's name for his, you know, unfortunate passing back in 2006. So, really, it was a real tragic thing that happened for my family during that time. And I thought I wanted to reference the whole thing with my character being named Billy as a reference of my own cousin, Billy. But I didn't want it to just be just Billy. I wanted there to be an added name to the, mix. Because, you have someone called Billy Lee or Billy Ray. So I decided, why not go with something that hasn't been used? Why don't we call him Billy Leo? And I know you all got a big kick of me falling onto the ground. So just to let you know, I didn't fall intentionally on the ground, falling dead straight in my face. So I basically had my hands up like this. The moment I fell on camera, when I fell, I kind of had my hands out. Well, either way, the vest that you see me wear, the paintball vest you see me wear, has like a little sort of like plate. Not like a plate, but it's kind of like, it's a little bit more like a fabric plate that I could probably call it. That's like in the front of the vest. It's a little bit like a play bulletproof vest, but it's not a bulletproof vest. It just has like the protection plate in case you ever do paintball. So now that I'm playing my character is now Copper in this movie. He pretty much, I had to move exactly like a robot. I had to do like the whole moving like a robot, kind of doing that robot dance, the whole moving my body like a robot. So I've seen a lot of movies where, we got actors who could just do this. Yeah, like that. So, yeah. And also, why did I speed it up right there? Because I got that idea from an anime. You know how they do like those speeding fast motion fight styles. Yeah, so the sonic plasma makes me move less like a robot, but more like a super robotic human robot, that kind of way. And let me explain this scene right here. Now, this scene I did film with the Sonic Ranger fighting the Sonic Ranger Invader. Now, now for this part, I had to film in that location again, but unfortunately it was snowing. It was the dead of winter of that time. So you're probably saying, well, why didn't you, record, where you just record it without, Yeah, so some of Billy Ray, he sent me his dialogue a little bit later during that time. But, unfortunately, during that time, he said it a little late. So I had to do this trick where I don't show the ground at all for that scene, but kind of show my upper body, most majority of me wearing the mask and gear. So that's why you don't see my lower body for that scene, because I was surrounded by snow in that area. And I wanted to show how evil this character is by just shooting at random things and scaring the hell out of people. So, I think it was late January. I filmed the finished fight scene. Well, the first finished fight scene where I appear as the Sonic Ranger. So this scene you see right here, this was the thing I had to. This was filmed during January, and during that time it was kind of mixed weather. It was kind of cold and a little warm, a little coldish, warmish, but still with a breeze of coldness. Yeah. This is actually my favorite part of the movie, where I introduce myself. And yeah, I did play the Sonic Ranger Invader, the evil Sonic Ranger Invader. So I did all of this in 2 separate parts. So the reason why you don't see me in the scene with the other character, or the other character in the scene with me, it was all filmed separate. So if you can tell by way how the sun is spotting out and how the sun is not spotting out, yeah, this was all. So I filmed with the evil Sonic Raider Invader, and the last thing I had to film was, well, my main character being played the new Sonic Ranger. So yeah, so parts were shot piece by piece. I was able to do the best I can with some parts and explain why certain parts happen. The software I use, yeah, I used Coral Video Studios, 2023, and also I use my other, the one that I use most likely, and that's Coral Video Studios Pro X. I also did like a storyboard for this part of the movie. Now, originally I was going to have it be a shield, knocking the Sonic Ranger Invader off the ramp, and then he jumps back up. So, yeah. And also I decided, instead of it being a shield, why not just it be a sword? So it just seemed like, what if the sword has a lot more power than the shield does? Yeah. And this was like the perfect spot for this scene. Yeah, and this mask you see me wear, this is the first time you see me wear this thing, so yeah, I decided to buy the separate mask on eBay, and that's mostly majority of where the majority of the masks I got from were obviously from eBay. And the final thing I want to do is it be like sort of like a samurai movie, just not without samurai swords. So yeah, the software I'm using is much better. It's much better. It's much cooler. So that like spinning effect you just saw me use, yeah, that's from the other Coral Video Studio software I use.
Do you have protection balls? No?
Do you have protection balls? And this is like my favorite line right here. Yeah. So basically how I can describe this, I want it to be more like RoboCop and Mega Man kind of combined. Not like the Mega Man in the game, but Mega Man in the Mega Man fan film. Yeah, so yeah, some of these parts I had to cut just to assure all you, so I don't do something stupid, like show where my actual place where I live. Like me showing the halls, that's one thing. I just can't show the outside of the building, which I will never do ever at all. So in this part, he's trying to remember. He's like thinking, wait, I think I remember this place. The Sonic posters, the baby picture. So it's like, wait, I remember this place. I think I do. Yeah, I think I remember, like, this area that looks so familiar. So there was supposed to be more dialogue with me saying. So I already mentioned this in this scene about, man, that's me as a baby. But it didn't make sense if I did it in this part. So that's the reason why it got cut. Because I didn't want this to be like, wait, why would I didn't want my character to seem stupid Like in the end, when he looks at the baby picture again, he's like, "Wait a minute, was I human?" And I didn't want my character to seem that stupid, guys. Like, you're now putting it together. Like, you just said that's you as a baby, and now you're putting it all together all right now. Like, you're really figuring out that quick, or are you just that slow? So that's the whole thing. I didn't want my character to seem like he's a really stupid robot who's now putting two to two together. Like, wait, wait, oh wait, no, I don't want to do that. So I wanted to cut that part and save the part where he finally puts two and two together. That, oh, wait, did I used to be human? So for this scene right here, you see me drink. That is iced tea mixed with black food coloring. It's supposed to make it look like battery acid or battery fluid coming out of the batteries. So mixing iced tea and battery fluid for him to drink. And I should probably mention this thing right here is how Jojo is telling him not to say Invader Prime, aka Moto's name. Like, you can call him Invader Prime, but don't call him Moto. So either way, Moto pretty much is, well, how can I say this? Yeah, I want to kind of add a Voldemort type of Freddy Krueger villain. Or if you say their name, you know they're going to come. Or kind of like, if you think about it, kind of think of it like Candyman. Like, you look in the mirror, you say Candyman 5 times. It's like, I wanted it to kind of be like an urban type of thing, where he has like this urban type of power. Like, you say my name, like I will show, or if you even say my name at all, I will show up to you. That's the way how I wanted to do it. So I kind of watched a lot of movies, a lot of fantasy horror movies where you say their name, they'll show up. Yes, and now, this scene right here, the gun training scene. Yeah, this is the part I had the most fun. Because I get to film this scene, making it look like I'm shooting holograms. And that's all these things are. Me with the blue hoodie, wearing the V for Vendetta mask over another mask. You know, that's all green screen stuff. So the green screen stuff I decided to shoot first because it might make it a lot more better. The unfortunate thing is some parts is I had to cut. And some parts where I'm wearing the old man beard and white gray hair. Reason why there were some parts I had to cut because it was showing the latch. The latch is supposed to go in my ear. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You might know what I'm talking about. Like, the latch thing is supposed to go right around my ear, and, you know, showing I have the beard. Like, you've seen me with that old man beard before, and you can tell it's not real. Yeah, so the sound effects for the gunshots that my character used, that's from the actual toy. So the big toy, the Sonic Ranger toy, that's the one that does like the sound effects for the gun and sword. Or heck, maybe you don't have the gun and sword on you. You can still do the sound effects. You know, the little 8 sound effects that's on the back of the toy. And you're also wondering about the baby that I'm carrying. Go ahead and have a big, huge laugh at what I'm about to tell you. That's a doll. Yeah, a doll that I had to cut down its hair. And don't worry, guys. You can relax. I don't play with dolls. But yeah, you can have a big laugh saying, but that's a but that's still a doll you have in your hand. Like, yeah, it is. Yeah, go ahead and have a big, huge laugh. I don't know if you can notice it, but you can't see the light and camera and background that I'm filming. So yeah, that's the reason why I don't use a lot of masses that are like mirrors. So yeah, so if you can see like the background of it, you know, you can tell how I did it. I was, you know, you get what I'm saying. And now in comes Billy's second line of dialogue. Well, second character he has to play. I couldn't find another actor I thought would be perfect to play CEO Louis Doubleday. Yeah, so yeah, this is Krusko. This was the last thing I shot with Krusko from her first day. And also, Krusko in this part does, I mean, yeah, I had to, yeah, there's some signs and stuff I had to do. And just to show you, that's the laundry chute. Well, that's the laundry room in my building. So I had to not show the 4 washers and dryers. And, well, I can show you the building. Well, I can show you not the building I can't show you, but I can show you the room that we shot. It's just I couldn't show like the washers and dryers and stuff, and the sink, just the table, and that's it. And also the sign that says, yeah, I'm not gonna go any further, but yeah, this was one of the most uncomfortable scenes I had to film because it was mostly in a public place where people can still see you. So this is where I filmed near the Cambridge Galleria and Museum of Science. So yeah, and yes, it was during the time of winter. So I just gotta tell you, I had to wear enough layers as possible. And yeah, that item you see in my hand, that's totally, and I mean totally, not real gold. Yeah. That is about as fake can actually get. Like, it's fake as hell. That's just something it's just a glass model or some type of model I used to spray paint it gold, make it look like it's a antique, which is not an antique. It's just a piece of crap, you know, antique. That's it. So it's just junk. Yeah, I did a little, yeah, you might know what I got. So you're probably asking another question. What's with the whole toy being the Avatar thing? Or Invader Avatar? Well, that's one of the toys from Soma's Sonic Ranger and Soma's Star Rider. Yeah, so, yeah, all I did is just use my green screen background and just took a picture of it and managed to use however I can. Yeah, some of these parts I got from other movies and shows. People just going berserk at other people. Yeah, and also one of my friends, who I'm not going to mention their name because I respect their privacy. This is their part where they have to flip one of the robots, the robot warriors off. Yeah, I'm not going to mention my friend's name, but he was more than happy to do a part for this. And I didn't credit him in this part. So, yeah, I did the best I can with my friend. And showing how the whole town's going against each other. So for this scene, my character is just pissed. Because he's now realizing, oh, the invaders are actually real, and Vader Prime is actually real. So, yeah, another night where I'm protecting the Golden Lady. Yeah, there wasn't much I can say about this scene. Just another night of me doing my usual thing and drinking battery fluid with iced tea. And oh, my character just realized he uses AI. And my traditional eye look I use sometimes. So yeah, this is just my character just trying to figure out maybe I can use my AI to find one of the invaders, basically. Yeah, so this is another green screen scene I did for this part. And also adding whatever special effects I can add in this scene. So yeah, it's most majority of these filters that I use, I had to use them, you know, all of them all at once. I don't know. It's just stuff I'm just happy I can use, to be honest. Yeah. So, yeah. After this scene, he finally figures out how to find the evil Sonic Raider Invader. Sorry, did I say evil Sonic Ranger Invader? Well, evil Sonic Ranger Invader, basically. So, yeah. Either way. Yeah, so this night he's now, I guess, yeah, this is part where I guess I'm kind of having it drag a bit. So I guess there's some parts I could have probably cut. Because I think there's some parts I think they kind of drag along a bit, if you were to ask me, or anyone else. Yeah, I guess it does drag along. I guess I could probably, you know, cut more of these scenes to, you know, to make them look better. So they don't, like, take too long for a scene for, I don't know. Maybe it's something I could have done better for it to be a little more shorter, or maybe a little less shorter. But yeah, for this scene, this is the part where he finally finds out where to find where the evil Sonic Ranger Invader is at. So, and also that scene where he touches the Golden Lady. Yeah, that's the part where he has like the Cyclops eyes. Yeah. Dumbass.
If I was you, I wouldn't test me.
Yeah, and now we're on the last two final fight scenes. So don't worry, guys. If I do make a sequel, I will make it a lot more action-packed and have a lot more action. Yeah, these are some parts I did right in the script part.
You want the Golden Lady?
Yeah, some of these parts I actually did green screen, just to let you know, but there's some parts I was going to add, but they didn't come out exactly as I hope. So I had to scrap them, because they didn't come out exactly, because the green screen parts just look too crappy. So I didn't want this to look too crappy, to make it look like, hey, you used green screen. I can see. Yeah, so like I said, I filmed with, I filmed by myself, and yes, like I did from the last fight scene, I had to film. I had to film the Sonic Ranger Invader first. Then I had to film the Sonic Ranger Hero second. So either way, and yes, you're also asking, the jumpsuit I'm wearing is the exact same jumpsuit I'm wearing in both parts. So I wanted to be like, well, maybe he has the same jumpsuit, or it's this different. Like, yeah, let's just say it's like a jumpsuit where it's supposed to be his signature jumpsuit in that sort of way. Kind of like, kind of think of it like he's kind of like a cop or something like that. A robotic cop. A RoboCop. With martial arts. I think some of these special effects I could improve at least in some ways. Maybe I could have done some parts where it could have looked a lot more convincing the way how I shot it. I like to see it over here. When we both say it. Moto. And yep, in comes Billy Ray in his full attire. They're probably saying, well, why did he kill him? Why did he kill, his comrade right here? Well, he just felt like, you're useless. I don't have no use for you anymore. So yeah, screaming sound effect. I can't really explain where I got that from. But yeah, the scene where the mask falls into the snow. Yeah, that was something I did shot in green screen. And yeah, there's a skeleton right there. Skull. Yeah, so I wanted to make it sound like, the laser kind of shrunk, his skull a bit. And just not the headpiece of the helmet. Yeah, so that was for the first scene I filmed for that particular day. But then came me and Billy and Dan filming for that day. So yeah, Dan was the camera person, Dan Udry King, who did some of the music, the drums for the part for this movie. Also, this is another thing I want to explain. This fight scene style I kind of referenced from Dragon Ball Evolution. I said to myself, what can I do that Dragon Ball Evolution sucked balls at? So I decided, F it. Why not have this be like a reference to Dragon Ball Evolution, but make it a better fight scene? Not like let's not make it a cop out. I don't want to make this be another damn cop out where it's like, oh, it's a cop out. Yeah. So no, I wanted to do the best I can to make this scene look a lot more better than it can actually be. And yes, he now wants to kill JoJo. He now wants to destroy everything and kill JoJo. Professor JoJo. And yeah, this scene right here I got out of 3D Viewer. Yeah, 3D Viewer was I use this type of software on my other laptop. I'm trying to get it to work on the newer laptop. I should let you guys know one other thing. There was going to be a lot more profanity in this film. What I mean by profanity, I mean a lot of bad language. So I was literally going to suggest myself, should I have there be a lot of F-bombs in this movie? So I wanted to kind of go for a more softer PG-13, sorry, not softer rated R movie where there wasn't a lot of violence. But yeah, I only wanted the language to be more adult. Some of the action and violence I wanted to come up with, I don't think I have the budget, to be honest. But yeah, I really tried the best I can for this, so I decided, maybe not give it a PG-13 rating. So for this scene, he's now brainwashed, but there's like one kind of catch. The whole thing is the point of fact that he's being brainwashed and he's seeing a reality that he thinks he's living in, but in reality, it's fake. The whole thing about it is it's a fake reality that he's living. And what breaks him out of it is, Professor Jojo saying Moto's name, which is the one thing that kind of triggers him like, wait a minute, you would have never said that. So wait, if this isn't real, if you would have never said that, then oh my god, I'm in a fake reality. Yeah, so either way, this was Crusoe's last thing I filmed with her. Then the last thing I had to have her do is talk our last conversation for the final part for the movie. And yeah, this is him now finally realizing, wait, if it's not real, then what am I in? Yeah, exactly what he's just saying to himself. Like, wait, if she would have never said that, this is not real reality. Yeah, and also, if you kind of notice, Crusoe not being the spot that she was at, yeah, she was my camera person for that day also. She did the whole 360 thing around me. Yeah, these were the last things I had to film by myself during that time. Yeah, I worked day in, day out just to make this movie. And we're getting to the best part. The final fight scene. Yeah, so this is showing how my character is a lot more stronger and is not willing to be brainwashed by the main villain. Yeah. So you can tell I was gonna say F-bomb, but for a PG-13 movie, you can probably say an F-bomb kind of once or twice. But yeah, I had to kind of change it to make it seem a little funny. Like, oh, you didn't say an F-bomb. You said something that was close to an F-bomb. Yeah. Either way, yeah, the final fight scene. This was a film. This final fight scene that you see me and Billy film. This is something I put my heart and soul and passion into making. I even wrote parts in the script of how the fight scene was gonna kind of be during the time. So I felt this area was appropriate because it's snowy. We filmed it here before, and we always have to worry about onlookers. Being inspired. Now I can mention one thing about this fight scene, and that is something cute happened. I should probably mention it. Two ladies and their dog came to where we were filming. The dog had a stick that's like this size in their mouth. I had to take off my glove because I had a bad experience with the dog smelling just my glove and barked the living hell out of me. So for this scene, I just took my glove off and just kind of have him smell my hand, and yeah, that's the best thing I could have done. But I should probably mention when I walked the dog, kind of off our set, the stick in the dog's mouth. Now, the dog had the stick in its mouth, but it hit me right here in the head. But thankfully, I was wearing the helmet. So if you saw the the bloopers on how badly the paint was falling off the helmet, that's probably one of the reasons why. Don't worry, I wasn't hurt. It didn't really hurt me that much because I had the helmet, the helmet and the, mask, right around my face. So I didn't really, it didn't hurt me, but I just had to walk the dog off and pat it to say go away, yeah. But it wasn't anything bad. Anything bad didn't really happen. So we did the scene the best as possible, and we had an alright time. So either way, nothing bad happened and nothing awful happened. So we had a fun time filming the scene. The unfortunate thing is Dan didn't get it on camera about what happened with me and the dog. He still had the camera on Billy where we were filming. And yeah, the scene where you see me we're supposed to make it look like both me and Billy are flying up to the sky, and then we punch each other and we go flying off. Yeah. Dragon Ball Evolution. Except it doesn't suck balls in this scene. And this is the part where I say my line, which I don't care if I write this a lot. I love this line. Yeah, you can probably see the little attacher thing on the helmet kind of, flopping off. Yeah. And also this final scene, this is something I did write. That was a part of the script. Yeah, a couple of reasons why I had to give it that type of effect, because yeah, you can hear Dan moving the camera, and a couple of things I had to enhance because our stuff was in the background and for that scene, so I had to use an effect where it moved, where you don't see our stuff. Move the camera to make it focus on both me and Billy's scene. Yeah, I also had to re-edit this part of the movie because if I was to white it out, it would look very inappropriate. Because I don't want to say, I can't tell you. But yeah, originally for this scene, I did show a clip from Digimon, the show, on Blu-ray. But I had to cut it because I know YouTube would give me another copyright claim saying, oh no, you still have the sound and footage from that show, so we're going to copyright claim you. So I'm like, it didn't happen, but I knew it was going to happen. So that's why I cut that part from the scene. And I kept this scene because I want this scene to be like the scene, wait a minute. Like I said before, was I human? Yeah. Also, the bass is done by our friend David. Yeah, he did the bass for that one particular scene. I had to enhance it in the best sort of way during that time. And like I said, he started to remember, wait a minute, that's me as a baby. So wait, was I human? And that's the whole part I had to keep in this particular scene to follow up for the next scene. So So this final scene that you see me film, this is the same day where I'm supposed to protect the Golden Lady, where I get the assignment to protect the Golden Lady. So yeah, I have Krusko. So for me and Krusko's part, I had to record her part first, then my part second. Then in editing, I could just put both like dialogue parts all together and recording parts all together. Then show the footage of me, looking, sad and depressed. I kind of like these scenes where I just kind of have this, sad deepness in me, in those type of scenes. I do. Yeah, a couple of things you might not notice. You might see in this scene a mom walking her baby, like a mom in a baby stroller, and a guy looking like he's chasing. I don't know if he's jogging or you see right. You see a little further from there. You might see a guy who's jogging or something like that. And also, how was I able to get the okay to film near the museum, the outside of the Museum of Science? Well, good news. When I was filming Star Riders: The Beginning, me and Manny did film in that area, but they don't really care whatever it is you do, as long as they're not having any big events for, like, let's just say a marriage or something like that. So, since this was like the dead of winter, I felt the need to film in that location. And also, the last and final thing, I recorded Shaddy's last part that I told her to record. I recorded her last part twice. And, be honest, I fly off into space, going God knows where. But either way, this was a fun movie I made for this year. Now, of course, there's talk about doing a sequel. I have ideas I do want to do for a sequel. The problem is I don't want to film during the summer. Here in the summer in Boston, it's going to get hot. And I know what it's like filming a mask and filming also wearing a helmet. Yeah, it's not fun. No, it's not fun. So, maybe, hopefully, once the weather cools down a bit, I will film, hopefully, the sequel. I don't know how long it will take me, but, yeah. I don't know how long it's going to take me, but it's really something I need to plan for in the future. But either way, you guys know me. I'll figure some way to make a sequel. I mean, if you enjoyed this film, I will definitely make a sequel. The sequel definitely will be coming pretty soon. I don't know when. I don't know if I have the time. I have enough time in my hands. But I have a lot of ideas of films I want to do in the future. If they were big budget films, or me working in an actual studio, I will more than happy will do it. So, either way, So, this was Sonic Ranger. What else can I really say? Well, don't worry, I won't give Billy more roles, and I won't give myself more roles when I'm fighting my own self. But either way, once Gavin comes back to Massachusetts, once we all figure out what our schedule is like, and where we can film, where we could film, depending what the weather's like, it was windy, cold, freezing, or hot as hell, we'll figure something out. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I have ideas for a sequel. I just want to make sure they all make enough sense as of right now. So, I have to thank my mom also for also getting me the laptop and me requiring to get my own software. So, yes. And also special thanks to Sade and Shauna. And yes, a little joke right here. No spiders and rats were harmed. So either way, that ends the commentary. You know, hope we see you guys in another film. Hope you love this movie. And I'll see you another time.